Okay, so this is the tire jump. And as you can see, off. That it's all made out of PVC. The tire itself is like the corrugated tile, the black stuff with all the holes in it that you put around like the foundations of your house. And I just went to the self-serve lumber and got a piece. I want to say it was about 3 or 4 foot long, and then I just hooked it in a circle and covered it up with duct tape. I just redid it today, the tire itself. We ended up having to put new legs on it too because the joints down here, because of the winter, I'm not very good at putting my equipment away when winter hits. They broke in the cold. I think my teenage kids helped out a little bit too. But as you can see, this is just 1-inch PVC with a T here and a T here. And then on the sides here, I put little eye hooks and an eye hook here to hang the chain from. And you can put anything here. You just want to be able to adjust it up and down for the different height levels. When you first start out, you're going to have it right on the ground like it is now. We put these here, the ropes on the sides, and them are hooked with eye hooks too, just so the tire can't swing. It has to stay in that position, but yet it can be raised up or down, but it won't swing, so when the dog goes to go through it, I just put the tire back on it. I put zip ties to hold it on because you know what, you can change them whenever you want. If they break, they're easy to fix. Looks like I need a new hook though. Actually, I should have put that through there, and then I could use that to go up and down, but oh well. I think I originally made this tire jump about 5 years ago, and this was the first time I've had to do any repairs to it. You guys quit. And so that one's really easy. Like I said, I used 1-inch PVC on all that. You got a corner piece up here and a corner piece there. You got 2 T's at the bottom. I put the bar across it to stabilize it, and then I make it so I can take these legs out because it's going to get put up this winter, and I can just hang it on the wall and take the legs off it. So that's pretty simple. My weave poles, them are pretty old. I designed the base of these a long time ago, and right here I made it with 2 hinges so you could actually fold it up over each other, and you could like put it under the seats in your car. But as you can see, time has worn on that. I'm actually going to take it and sandblast it and re-weld a hinge on right here and repaint it, and I'll have to put some WD-40 in these. I bet they don't even move anymore. But I really like it. Now the newfangled weave poles are the ones that are separated and they push them together, but I use guide wires on my weave poles. It's something I've done for 20 years, and to me that's what works. But you know what, maybe we'll do a video with doing the new wave ones too, and we'll compare. Heavens knows I have enough dogs to do it. And then of course our jumps, them are just made out of PVC too. I want to say, oh, get down. Everybody's happy that Mama's home from work. Get down, guys. This must be, I want to say this is 3/4 inch pipe or PVC, and this also just has a T on the bottom right here and a T here for the brace that goes along the side. Noah, quit. Gemma, quit. And that holds it so it doesn't come apart. But I need to retape this, which I got some duct tape. Now these are just made out of caps, and you just cut the caps in half, and then I screwed them in. That way, if your dog knocks a bar, they just come right off. There ain't no hanging them up. And I put all the different levels, or the different heights in there, so anybody can come over and train. It's actually a little nicer to put caps on these, and you ain't got to worry about the bugs getting in them. But to start out training, you'll at least need 3 of these. Yeah, because you want to stick them in between the harder jumps once we get into the contacts and stuff, because they get so good at it, they love to do it. But I want to say them jumps cost me a total of like $6, and about an hour to do. The hardest thing on this is cutting these caps in half. That's about it. Everything else is pretty easy. The tire jump, I want to say that cost me probably a total of about 17 bucks. The corrugated tile, which is, you know, the tire itself, was a little expensive, but not too bad. You guys, please quit. Boo! They're barking with the neighbor's dogs. This is my table. My table's a little beat up. All my equipment needs to be cleaned up. This is actually a little bit too small. This is about 2.5 foot by 1.5 foot. Get off there. And it's, you know, I made it out of 2x4s and plywood. And all I did was take some caps and screw them in upside down, and then the legs you can make any size you want and they fit right in there, and then that way when you go to store them you can take the legs right out. If I had to do this one again, I would probably find a way to do it out of some type of like aluminum, the square aluminum tubing, to make it lighter, because it's not bad, but it does get hard to carry around. And remember, anything that you make in your yard, you're going to have to move to mow, which, as you can see, my lawnmower has been broke for about 3 weeks now. I had a neighbor come mow my yard for me, and we're letting this dead stuff dry up, and then my kid's going to come. We're going to have a bonfire Saturday night and burn this grass. But this is the dog walk. The dog walk, I don't make any of my equipment to standard size because, like I say, you have to move it when you mow and stuff. So everything is made a little bit smaller, so it's lighter to move. Now this was actually quite easy. What I did is these right here, you can buy at any hardware store or like a self-serve lumber or the Menard. We see you, Gemma, hi. And what they are is they're just the clamps to make sawhorses. So they come as one piece. This is all one piece right here. And then they go up the sides and they open up. You put a 2x4 in here, and then you put 2x4s in the legs. So you can actually make this shorter if you want to. And then the boards, of course, I didn't get real long ones, because if they can do a short one, they can do a long one. Same with my A-frame. My A-frame isn't standard height, but you know what? They can climb an 8-foot A-frame. They're definitely going to be able to climb a 9-foot 2-inch one, which is most regulations and competitions. I did put the slats on it. This here needs to be repainted. I got some paint at the shop, and because I'm redoing my A-frame right now, which I'll show you that tomorrow. But this was pretty easy. Like I say, I just bought a pack of these, which a pack has 2 of them in it, so you can make 1 sawhorse. I bought 2 of them, so I could make 2 sawhorses. And you want to remember, when you make your dog walk, you want to make sure that when you're walking alongside your dog, when you're training them, that your arm is up above them. So if they go to jump or whatever, we use seat belts, we'll get into that later, that you can control them, and you know, they're not over your head. This could actually be smaller. And the only problem I don't like about this is I have a couple dogs, like one of my border collies, he kind of walks sideways, and this is too thin. This is too thin, so I would probably try to go, I want to say this, wow, this has got to be what, 8 inches. I would at least go a foot. And if I couldn't find a foot, I would probably double these boards, because like I say, training at home, you want it safe. And this I can actually move on my own too. I have to do it in you know, short little spurts. I'll move this sawhorse out a couple feet, move this end. I meant both ends pick up. You know, you can pick them up, and it's easy to move. It twists it a little bit, but underneath it, let me see if I can get underneath it. Underneath it was actually pretty easy to do. I just took some metal that you can get at any hardware. Oh, can't see it too well. That you can get at any hardware, and I just screwed it into both ends. If the metal rots, I can change it. It's got a little bit of flexibility. You just have to make sure before the dogs go over it that it's nice and sturdy, which this one right now isn't. It looks like this leg over here is a little off. Oh, yep, look, see, I'm going to have to re-nail that. Yeah, this is what happens when you leave your equipment out all winter long, which of course the dog walk I wouldn't be bringing in, but everything else I'm going to start. So the slats, you know, you just want to put them every so often. The top I did with the paint with the sand in it, so they're not slipping off that. I've never had an issue with these guys climbing it and sliding, but I want to make sure, like, if there's a little dew on it, that they can't get off that. The Teeter-Totter needs a little bit of work too. I got the paint. I'm going to repaint that here this week. But the Teeter-Totter, they actually have some bases now that like fold down, and I like them. Well, I've always liked them the best, but I'm kind of cheap. I always build my own stuff. But they got the teeter bases that you can order that are made out of like aluminum, so they don't rot and stuff, and they'll actually lay all the way down. This I just did out of 2x4s. As you can see, there's braces throughout it, and it was actually pretty easy to build. But like I say, then again, when we get to moving it, it's heavy. This one I can tip on the side and drag it over a couple feet, and then I'll mow in that spot and drag it back. But this here too, I put the sand in the paint. It needs to be repainted. When you make this, you have to remember that you want, when you put the pivot point, it has to be like a little off center, so it always falls to one end. This one, actually I have to fix the pipe, and I have to fix the hooks underneath of it because one of them's broke. Noah, quit please. Yeah, this one right here is broke. So, Gemma, quit. I have to, Gemma, quit. I have to get under there and refix them, and that's actually not the pipe that goes in it. It is buried in one of these grass piles somewhere. But I just wanted you guys to get an idea of, you know, it is easy to make your own. It takes a little time. I want to say that this one, because it's all made out of wood, probably cost me about, I want to say 25 bucks. And I cut a couple of the pieces wrong, and they're a little off, but it doesn't matter. They all work. And